This is a planted tank update on August 20th, 2019. Since I got those plants from Jacob's Aquarium, some have done okay, some haven't. The Balacopa over here is doing well. This has been cut back several times so far. Here you can see one place where I transplanted the cuttings. You see they're already reaching the surface here. In fact, the transplant here had been already cut once. And the Cryptocorinne undulata are starting to do better. The root system is extending, and new shoots are coming up. At one point, that plant literally went all the way up to the surface and extended maybe 60-70% across the aquarium. I filled up an entire trash bag pulling those plants out. The root system was extensive throughout the whole aquarium. It's amazing how fast these plants can grow under the right conditions. I'm letting the Java moss grow and form a ground cover. We've got part of the ground covered now in little tufts of green of Java moss, and I'm keeping the pearlweed up here in case the fish have more babies, to act as a area of hiding and protection of the babies if and when they appear. So the tank is a little bit on the thin side right now, so we have room to allow things to grow in. The Ludwigia dark red over here is pretty much dying off. The fish are chewing it up and eating it faster than the plant's growing. But the Scarlet Temple over here seems to be recovering. You can see all those little baby swordtails growing up. Sort of overpopulated now, but it is what it is. And then, one last thing on the main tank. I just noticed I'm out of CO2. There's no no bubbling, no CO2. Time to refill the tank. And then on the little 10-gallon planted tank, you can see the Balacopa transplant over here, which has grown to the surface of that tank. You know, these are cuttings from the main tank, and they're doing really well in this tank. Remember, this tank has no CO2 addition. You can see the Mirio green. It's growing slowly but doing well. It's filling out. It was only about 1/4 to 1/3 that size when I got it. This transplanted plant back here, I don't know what it's called. It's hanging in there. It's not doing great, but it's not quite dying off either, so I'll just leave it there for the time being. And the little hunk of pearlweed over here, I have to trim back periodically, but it looks nice in the corner there. And the microswords are not doing well at all. I have not had any luck with these microswords in the big tank or this tank. It's interesting how some plants do real well in a tank and others just don't. Whatever the conditions are that they need, they're not being offered in this tank. So The only other thing, as the plants have grown up higher, I turned the valves on the canister filter to open it up a little wider to increase the flow, because as you get thicker plant foliage, it tends to block the water currents. So I turned it up a little. I don't want fast current, but I want to have some steady water movement there. But this tank is starting to look nice. And that's the update.